Hello everyone, this is Bhupen Sharma, and in this tutorial we are going to discuss about implementing Spring Security. So let's get started. So this is the existing project from my last lecture where we left where the dashboard page. So what I did is I renamed my index.html with dashboard.html, and in the index.html I put the information about the login page. So it has the username and it has the password and it has a submit button. So let's run and see whether I'm getting a login screen or not. So now I'm getting a login screen. You click on it, nothing happens, no action. So next thing we need to do is we need to have a login controller. So I already created this login controller. It has root/login and access denied. I didn't create any page for access denied. So if there is no page, the Spring Security will say that page not found. So I'm okay with that. We'll create a security config class and I'm gonna put all the securities. The other change I did is that on ThymeLeaf controller, which is my old controller and has mapped to root, I changed that root to dashboard. So to access this page I need to go through dashboard, and I return to my dashboard, which is dashboard.html. In pom.xml I have added a dependency for security, Spring Boot Starter Security project. So now let's start with implementing security. Let's use annotation called configuration because it is a security configuration, and then enable web security, extends web security configure adapter. Now I need to now you can do two type of authentication. One is in-memory authentication and one is data source authentication while connecting to data source, which is creating a tables, user tables and rows table. For this lecture I'm just gonna use the in-memory authentication. So let's put that. We need to override so in authentication manager builder. So here I'm gonna say dot in-memory authentication dot with the user and let's put user as a user and password as password with the role of user. And let's create one more. Admin let's put name now. Role admin. let's extend override one more method called configure the Spring's HTTP security. Okay, here I'll say we need to authorize the request. So let's say authorize request. So we need to permit all the requests with the root. So permit all the request with root, permit all. Okay. And all the one which has access to user. So again dot and measure. So anything that comes has role user, which we created. Apart from that, any other request need to be authenticated. So now let's put the login and logout. So and form login dot success handler dot login page, which is index dot permit all. We don't need a specific, we need a success handler. So let's create a class called login success handler. Yep, we'll create this class. Okay, this is for success. Now let's talk about what happens when it failed. So and dot log out any request which has invalid HTTP session true, clear the authentication true, and log out and measure any URL with the URL called, so I'll say new and path matcher and say logout. So if I put logout on my URL, I should be logged out. Dot logout success URL. So once it logged out, where it will go? It will go to login logout dot allow them. And let's talk about exceptional handling. In case of exception, what will happen? Let's create another access denied handler. Let's create a class called login success handler. Here. So in the login success handler, what I did is I implement a authentication success handler. I override on authentication success. So I just say that login successful and then redirect them to dashboard page. Same way we have to create for login denied handler. So let's create a login denied handler. Sorry, access denied handler. So in this handler, what I did is I implement the access denied handler. Okay, I think Spring already have this class, so let's change this one to login access denied handler. That way we don't have to provide the full. Yeah. Okay, and then here I'm just using a security context holder get context and authenticate, and if it's not authenticated, it will go to access denied. It include all the resources inside the static folder as well. Now let's auto wire them. So let's say auto wired login success handler. I map that, and then I'll say auto wired access denied handler. So this is mapped up. Okay, now in Thymeleaf what we need to do is we need to put somewhere where I can authenticate. We need to call the security for Thymeleaf as well. So here we call this dependency for the Thymeleaf Spring security dependency. Let's make use of it. So we need to call the namespace for Spring Security 4, and then what we need to do is in the footer I can try. I think it doesn't have any footer, so let's put a span or div somewhere. So inside the form, this is my body container, and let's try after this container. So let's put a span. So in this span, I'm just calling authorize is authenticated, so it is gonna verify. Normally this will be part of a template, the Thymeleaf template, but since I'm using only 2 pages, I'm gonna copy to footer here as well. Okay, so both the pages has that now. Let's try to run and see whether it works or not. So it didn't work, and I got a error that it has to be a password encoder. So one thing that I missed out was when I say I forgot to put nope. Nope is actually to telling the Spring Security that don't apply any password encoder. So once I put this one and then I run it, and if I put anything else, I'll get a message. If I say user and password, say, and I'll get the dashboard page. So that's how the Spring Security has been configured. That's all for this video. Thanks guys.